Hello everybody and welcome back to Season 2 of my F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. We are now at Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix. If you didn't see the last one from Spa, go and check that one out before coming back and checking this one out. This is your last chance to do so before spoilers from the previous race. So after the heartbreak of Spa, which I'm going to be honest was entirely self-inflicted, that's an interesting interpretation of the circuit, Joe. But after my huge mistake cost me a win at Spa, I'm after redemption. So we're now here at Zandvoort to try and get that redemption. We're trying to get out of Q1, pushing as hard as I can. Also, this is the first race that we have new teammate Felipe Massa on board. So I'm hoping that Felipe can deliver strong things for the team. I do wish Schwartzman the best and hope to see him again at some point in this career mode, but unfortunately he wasn't the right fit for this team. Anyway, we are now waiting to see if that lap was enough to get us out of Q1, and shockingly it just wasn't. So we are out at the first part of qualifying. Massa has actually out-qualified us by 7 places there through Q1, so we're going straight into the race now. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to record the intro screen and all of that stuff that normally I show. We're just having a look at strategy and seeing what strategy would be right for this race, and taking my sweet time in doing so, I might add. So qualifying was quite gutting for us. I'm hoping that the race can deliver better things. Apologies for how long I was on that screen then. 36 laps stand between me and hopefully a points finish. What can we do here? It is lights out and away we go after the lights were held for quite a long time. We've made a decent start. We're trying to have a look around the outside and maybe nip a couple of positions. But there was an Alpine in the way, but we've been able to go around the outside of the Alpine, as well as a couple of other cars. And we have moved up into 12th place. Maybe P11 if we go around the outside here. Having a look at Gasly for P10. But unfortunately we just have to settle for the time being for P11. But we've made up a few places at the start. Stroll having a look around the outside there, but that was never going to work. Not in a month of Sundays was that going to work. Anyway, coming up to end the first lap. We are still in P11 and we're now chasing down Gasly for 10. We're getting very close to Gasly down the straight. I'm going to have a look round the outside because Gasly is covering the inside. We're going to brake later, sweep round, and that is now P10. So we are now into the points. Ricciardo and Sainz are next to be dispatched, and I'm feeling quite strong already. I feel like that we really can make our way into the points in this race. I feel like we've got decent pace. And we will now be helped by the fact that we now have DRS, which means if we get within a second of Sainz, we should be able to send one, but we're still struggling to get past. This is not a circuit where overtaking is easy. In fact, quite the opposite. Overtaking is a real challenge around here, and the only real place to do it is into turn 1. But I'm staying with Sainz, and we're going to now take a dive up the inside here. Is that going to work? Yes, it does work. And we have taken P9 off of Carlos Sainz. Next up is Ricciardo, and then Massa holding this back quite nicely in 7th. So a good debut for Massa so far, running nicely in the top 10, which is exactly what we want. I'd prefer it if you were a little further ahead in the top 10, but I'm not going to protest too much because P7 at the moment is still higher than where I am. Taking a dive up the inside of Ricciardo. That's another big dive bomb that has paid off. We've done the Ricciardo move on Ricciardo, and that is now P8 for us. Next up is Massa. Felipe, Joe is faster than you. Can you confirm that you understand the message? Well, he's understood the message because he's just pulled away from me down this sector. Ricciardo trying to sneak a look around the outside, but not happening. Absolutely not happening. Right, we're now right behind Massa, who's being held back a little bit by Sebastian Vettel. And again, I do wish there was a teammate swap button on this game. Just something to consider for 2022. I know I say it a lot, but I'm saying it one more time. Right, we're taking a dive down the inside of Massa, but are we going to make the corner? Not quite. But we managed to complete the move anyway. Massa was going to get me back after I'd gone wide, but we were able to get a better exit. And that is what helped us hold on to P7. Next up is Sebastian Vettel in P6. And in fact, some of the others have now pitted. So we have moved up into second. We've got Lewis Hamilton, who is effective race leader behind me. And I've decided to let Massa go because I got it wrong round that corner and I didn't want to come back on and hold him up. So I've let Massa go in the hopes that maybe he can have a chance at jumping Sebastian Vettel when he makes his pit stop. So we're going to see when Massa comes in if he does manage to jump Vettel or if Vettel manages to stay ahead. Massa's pulling in now and we are going to stay out. I ducked in to try and get a little bit of a slipstream before he pitted, and now I take the race lead, but obviously that's because of the fact that we haven't made our stop yet, and Lewis Hamilton is right behind me. I'm fighting him a bit harder than I should be though, because obviously we are not on the same strategy, but whatever, this is for pride and I'm not willing to let it go easy. Round the bank last corner, Lewis is right there. And in fact, we're going to pit now and take on the tyres that we intend to finish the Grand Prix on. We were in about P7 or P8 before we pitted, so I'm hoping that at least we can hold on to something around that area. Mediums off, hards on. I said hards on. Anyway, let's keep this a family show, Joe. Massa has actually lost out a couple of places there. He's lost out to Daniel Ricciardo and he's still behind Vettel, so it's really not worked out for him as he's now just outside the points. But I think a few ahead of us still have to pit. Right, Daniel Ricciardo is first then. So I've lost out to Ricciardo again, but I'm sure we can get past him here. This is going to be a look round the outside, although we're slightly boxed in by Vettel, but we're able to get the move done nonetheless on Daniel Ricciardo. And now next up is Vettel, who I believe is being held up by Tsunoda. And is this going to be a move on Vettel? Yes, it is! That is the move on Vettel. A little bit physical there, but we got the move done nonetheless. Ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Next up is Yuki Tsunoda, who I believe is holding this pack up. Tsunoda's going to the inside to cover. We're going to go to the left and another move around the outside of turn 1. Turn 1 being the overtaking place of choice round here. Because if I'm being honest, there aren't really any other places to get the move done. But we're now back into P7. Tsunoda 8, Vettel 9th. And my teammate, I believe, is still behind Ricciardo in P11. So just outside the points. So it depends on if anyone else in front of us has to pit or not as to how much further we go. And in fact, Gasly and Stroll are just making their pit stops now. So we move up into P5. So that's a solid comeback for us, but I tell you what, as my tyres are starting to go off, Vettel is starting to come back on me here, and Gasly is catching him as well. We're going to have to use overtake to try and keep ahead. I'm having to lift and coast, and because I'm running very dangerously low on fuel, but as I'm lifting and coasting, I believe Vettel's got into me. So I've lifted off, and Vettel has just smashed into me. I'm not sure. You know, I wasn't trying to brake test him. I was literally just lifting off. And you can see Massa going very slowly as well. I think he's got a car problem. So, rotten luck for Felipe as he's limping very, very slowly. His first race in his comeback to Formula 1 after being off since the end of 2017. And it's not a great one. It ends in heartbreak with the car not making it to the end. Now I've got Lance Stroll up my backside, and he's going to try and sweep round the outside of that corner. And I said it couldn't be done. I stand corrected. That is a stunning move by Stroll. Gasly trying to get through as well, but there was just no room for him to get through. Look at that. Stroll's gone through. Gasly's gone to take a look, but there's just no room for him. So Gasly's having to go off the circuit because he's turned into me. And now, as we go on to lap 34, I'm trying to get back in Stroll's DRS zone, which we are nicely in, because I want to try and take that place back if I can. It's going to be a late braking move for P5 and we take that back. But Stroll is not done yet. He's now coming back at the inside, but we've managed to cover him off. And Max Verstappen in 7th is now starting to get interested in this little scrap. Boy, oh boy, this one is not over yet. We've still got a lap to go, and Guan Yu Zhou is out of the race. And Lance Stroll's pitted, I've noticed. He's not in that top 7 zone anymore. I don't know what's happened to him. Maybe he's had contact with Max Verstappen, who's very, very quick at the moment. In fact, so quick, he's just driven clean off the circuit. And through goes his teammate, Sergio Perez. So I'm not sure what Max thought he was doing there. But we're at the last lap of the race now. Lewis Hamilton has won. P5 is literally the best I could do here. Like, not a fantastic result, but a decent comeback considering I started P17. So we'll take it. It's P5. It's 10 points.
That's the end of the race.
I'll take it.
Many doubted whether they could pull off the win here at Zandvoort, but they have done, and done it in spectacular style. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
I mean, it could have been a lot worse considering where we started, so we did manage to make some significant gains in that race. And I think our strategy and the pace we had helped. But Lance Stroll taking the fastest lap right at the end as well. I don't know what happened to him. I think he had a battle with Verstappen after he didn't get past me, and I think they might have made contact. So, unlucky for Stroll, but good for us, as we're able to take P5. We're still 3rd in the Drivers' Championship. In fact, we've moved ahead of Max Verstappen now to take that 3rd place. So I feel like that is what I'm battling for in this season. Lando Norris still in P5 in the championship. Charles Leclerc in 6th. Perez moving up to 7th. And we are still in 4th in the Constructors. So I'm hoping that we can move forward to 3rd. Well, thank you for watching. TTFN guys, ta-ta for now.